That was some good ASMR on that one.
Picking up Hartman was big.
Go ahead and flex, Kobe.
Just flip a coin and hire one of them.
Did you get the sword of John
We
Adams?
did get the sword of John Adams, yeah. At like 11 or midnight, we've decided it's never been a bad idea to have an extra pizza in the refrigerator.
But I don't want us to have that bourbon flavor for some of the other earlier beers. So let's start with problem.
You don't want me to be drunk on camera, is that what Welcome to the Varsity Brews Podcast, where we always share our brew here vis-a-vis WWB. Yeah. What's going on, gentlemen? Good weekend?
Yeah, the Irish won.
Ah, buddy. And
Go Blue won, too.
Big and Blue won. Your favorite duo got benched.
Yeah. 17-3.
His QBR was QBR was like 12.
Oh boy.
Do you think he's ever going to play again?
I mean, in Alabama, no.
They've got a real issue there. Do they not? I mean,
yeah. You look at that; it is scary. I mean,
they have no quarterback. Milroe didn't show up to practice.
Hey, Buckner.
Really? I didn't see that.
Yeah. So apparently on Sunday, no call, no show, no email, no text.
That means
nothing.
You know, that happened when I was at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That happened on a Friday trip to Michigan. Demetrius Jones didn't show up for our bus ride.
So what happened after that?
He left.
Oh, he totally
done.
left.
Packed his bags,
transferred it. He just left.
Done. Weirdest thing ever. Again, no call. Like we kind of started. We're like, where is he?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
How many snaps do you think we get?
Hey, and that same year, 2007, Jimmy didn't show up either. Clausen. To our meetings on Sunday after the Saturday night UConn game, where he got punched at the bar.
So automatically doesn't get a start, right? I mean, like.
Oh no, he still started.
What are the ramifications for not showing?
Remember he wore a black visor so we couldn't see his face? I was like, how come I can't get a visor? I need to get punched in the face?
Well, it's been a eventful couple of days. College football, I think, is in this weird place this year where nothing normal is going to happen. Georgia looks okay at home against South Carolina. Alabama looked like a complete disaster against South Carolina. LSU, who do they play?
LSU looked
USF.
better. USF, yeah.
LSU looked better. Notre Dame looked okay.
Struggled to start. They finished the game,
Their defense is struggling just a bit right
Still
now.
real worried
That's the concern coming into this weekend. That's my thought.
All right, let's hit on this right now while we're talking about it. If I felt really good about Notre Dame's chances against Ohio State before this past weekend. After this weekend, I mean, your top linebacker was out. Obviously, he's a master communicator back there with the rest of the guys. DJ Brown was out. How big of a difference does that make for that defense, or is that kind of overblown?
I think it's overblown a little bit. I mean, really, the concern here is going to be against Ohio State is, are they going to continue to try to pressure the quarterback, which you have a young quarterback at Ohio State, unproven at this point. And if that's the case, I still think it's going to have to be some blitz zones and some rolled coverage toward Harrison. And I love Benjamin Morrison. And I think he's going to go toe-to-toe with Harrison. I do.
Yeah.
But
he's going to need help, though.
But that's what I'm saying is for 4 quarters, at some point, Harrison's too good where there's going to be a clear beat. So if you're going to blitz and play man, it can be difficult. So you're going to have to roll some coverage there just to help because he's really good. So it does help having someone like, when you get guys back that are able to communicate, they're able to get you in the right front, that does help with pressures and consistencies when you have that voice. It's not a huge thing for me because there's been some red flags on defense even prior to that. It's going to have to be a clean game on the defensive side. It may end up. Notre Dame's going to have to score some points. I think they're
going to probably have to score another 40 points.
I think so.
That's.
But they've done that
since 1900. Yeah. Since 1900, the first 4 games, all W's, all over 40 points. In 1900 they played Goshen College. For real.
Yeah. Who do you? What do you attribute it to?
What am I attributing?
Super Hartman.
Hartman is.
Nice.
The only reason they're in this discussion is Hartman. Imagine
he's leading the NCAA in touchdown passes.
And Esteme's leading the NCAA in rushing yards. He's a beast. Do
you know why I said Hartman, Super Hartman? Because I do think he's bringing a caliber of a passion. You got an experienced quarterback that's throwing the football really well. He's a game changer for Notre Dame.
I'm sorry.
Showed some toughness too because
I was worried about it.
He's going to be sore He's going to be sore for sure.
That's what you said on Saturday in Texas. You're like, he's going to be sore.
He's going to be sore.
I am of the ilk that if Tyler Buckner, I mean, that's the easy one to pick on here. If Tyler Buckner was still the quarterback of this Notre Dame team, there is zero chance that they're 4-0.
Yeah, you might be like 1-3, maybe.
Do you think he would have started even if he stayed and Hartman didn't come?
Yes,
But
I do.
You do?
Actually,
You don't think Angeli would have started?
boy, I don't know. Angeli is not as mobile,
Sure.
but he has a better arm.
Yeah, he does.
So this is the thing with the Kyle McCord. I think he's not as mobile, but he has a really good arm. Because I saw some of these highlights where he's squeezing it into Harrison. Looks pretty good, but if you can get him on the run, that's also another concern of mine is the front four with Notre Dame not getting enough pressure. And when you're playing a team like Ohio State that has some
They got some athletes, right?
they got some guys
some
on the
guys.
front. I mean, you're going to need to put some pressure on the quarterback.
Imagine this scenario. I want to run this by you real quick. What if Tommy Rees had played the bait and switch and gotten Hartman to go to Alabama? I know it's just all hypothetical at this point, but
I can't even think about it.
That's loaded.
I can't even think about that. So I give Notre Dame a B-, I would say, against.
Yeah, the defense did look good.
I mean,
That's shaky because, hey, man, Ohio State would put
63.
Yeah,
when the backup quarterback, and I get it, he's a mobile quarterback.
He played well.
He did. When he leads 3 5+ minute drives at Notre Dame Stadium as a backup quarterback, and they scored 17 points.
And they missed a touchdown and hit the dude in the helmet.
Right.
There were a couple plays that the receivers left on the field for Central Michigan, too.
I mean, and it was close. Coming out of halftime, so you weren't sure. So, I mean, I give Notre Dame a B-, and Ohio State seems like they're trending in a better direction these days. And I know their competition has been nothing, but they seem like they're trending.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a big test. But no better place than a night game in South Bend. I mean, the atmosphere is going to be super cool. You know, both teams know that. You know, for Notre Dame, whether they're on the road or they're at home in these settings, it's why you come and play at Notre Dame. Ohio State's been in these moments too. Now, again, unproven quarterback. Ryan Day's still probably trying to prove himself a little bit here.
Sure.
This is a big matchup. I mean, you look at the games that are going to be on this Saturday. This is one of the marquee games.
What do you think is the difference for Notre Dame here? I mean, Go back to your experience playing at night. You know, what is it like at Notre Dame Stadium? You know, do you lose a little focus because it is the night game? I mean, what goes into that, and what is the key for Notre Dame?
I think
here?
it's offset a little bit, to be quite honest. You know, it's going to be a really neat environment for everybody playing. But to answer your question on what is it going to take, it's going to take Sam Hartman to be Sam Hartman. Okay, he's got to do what he's been doing, which is not turning the football over, running this offense effectively. Audric Estime's got to be him. This offensive line has to control the football. If the offense shows up and does what they've been doing, is consistently controlling the football, play action passing, and making some big throws down the field and scoring touchdowns, they're going to be in this game. Now, my concern, and we already talked about this a little bit too, is what's the game plan going to be on defense? Okay. Because if you do blitz and you play some man coverage, it's going to expose and it's going to open up some opportunities for this Ohio State team, again, to pass the football down the field. So, if they're able to get pressure, we'll say if they're able to get a turnover too, I think it's going to be a close game.
I do too.
I really do.
But it is going to be high scoring.
I think there's going to be some points scored.
Is
for sure.
Audric healthy? I mean, he got bumped up a little bit.
Yeah, he's out. And
he's
everybody's
all right.
listen. I've been talking about Sam Hartman for Heisman for a while now, but maybe we should be focusing on Audric Estime.
Yeah,
because he's the one really opening up the passing game for Hartman and for Notre Dame. I mean, like, you got a guy who's leading the NCAA in rushing. He's at least good for 2 touchdowns a game, it seems like, and he's rushing for over 150 yards per game.
He's a tough tackle for 4 quarters.
I mean, he runs downhill. You know, in the fourth quarter, he's hard to handle. But the thing with Audric, and I'm just waiting for this moment, hopefully it doesn't happen, but he can be fumble prone. Mm-hmm. We've seen it before with Audric Estime. So can he hang on to the football when it matters the most? We're going to find out in this game, because you're going to get some guys who put their helmets on the ball. You're
going to see Ohio State, I think, really commit to stopping the run early. If they're able to do that, it's going to be the Sam Hartman show. And can you then beat a good Ohio State team one-dimensional? Hartman has the talent to do it. But you're right. It's a way different game. If the run game's not going, they can sit on the pass. And when they've been successful this year, they put up a lot of points, it's been establishing the run and then play action pass down the field.
Ohio State has broken my heart several times at night, gentlemen. Night games have not been kind to me except for 1 or 2 times at Notre Dame Stadium. Wisconsin played Ohio State back in 1996, 97, I think. Ohio State.
Was that Ron Dane?
Yeah.
Close,
yeah, it was
right?
Ron Dane. Well, Ron Dane was like 94.
Okay.
It might have been like that.
It was close.
It was the year they tied. 14-14. There was no overtime sessions at that point. And then Ohio State last year was a night game at Ohio State. I know Ohio State's broken your heart a few times,
yeah,
buddy.
you don't need to tell me. I don't like them at all, but here's what I'll tell you. Ohio State, you talk about them coming on the up. I mean, putting 60 points on a team, you saw that in the rankings. I mean, if you saw some teams, like the actual rankings, not the CFB rankings, but the actual, like, just week-to-week AP poll, I mean, they dropped Michigan down to 14. It's the difference between only scoring 30 points and then you have a team like Ohio State that is trending up that puts 60 on it. The teams that, the people that are ranking them.
14th.
Yeah, they got 14th in the actual, like, I believe so. Yeah, like in the actual.
I thought it was second though in the
no,
AP
that's
poll.
that's
the coaches poll.
That's coaches.
They're 14th in the AP?
Yeah, like there was an article that just came out. I thought I
think
Or was it like
dropped?
somebody voted them 14th?
Like power rankings.
Could have been a power ranking.
Power
yeah, it's
ranking.
probably around
I'm
power.
like,
Still,
that's
tough.
But the whole point of what I'm saying is like, so you got a team that's trending up. I think it's coming into, this will be the first true test for Notre Dame for me. 100% Audric Esme, absolute beast. You take a look at what Sam Hartman's been able to do in a short amount of time. He's built a lot of confidence. There's a lot of people drinking the Kool-Aid at Notre Dame right now that this guy is going to. Are you drinking the Kool-Aid? Yeah.
He's super calm, man.
He is super calm.
He doesn't get rattled.
He doesn't get rattled. He looks experienced. And, can that transpose into – I thought Notre Dame's defense looked pretty shaky is what I would say in this last game. So, a more caliber Ohio State. It's a primetime game. The first thing that Ohio State wants to do is ruin everybody's season. So they want to come in and take over on the night game.
Well, there was a podcast. I don't know if you've seen this. There was a podcast of like Ohio State experts, and they were talking a mad shit like yesterday about Notre Dame. They were like, I think this group of no-names can come in and beat this Notre Dame team, and it's not going to be pretty for Notre Dame. And they're talking all this smack, whatever. The point is, I think you're right. I think Notre Dame is primed right now to make this happen. Is the defense up to the task? Because, hey, listen, for these Ohio State guys, too, it's a night game for them, too. Uh-huh. Kyle McCord has never been under pressure like he is going to be on Saturday night.
Well,
How
let's
is he
be
gonna
clear
perform?
here. It is not a difficult environment to play at Notre Dame Stadium.
You don't think so?
No.
Why? What makes it
Everybody sits down.
Yeah, it's boring.
We are the friendliest.
Listen, I'm a religious guy.
It's like going... It's like Catholic
going to church?
It's like going to it's Catholic calisthenics.
It is. You're sitting next to
down,
a 72-year-old
up,
priest that doesn't
sit
really
down,
get excited.
stand
Nobody's
up.
cheering. There's not a lot of trash talking inside of Notre Dame Stadium.
It did make a big
That's
difference.
about all they do.
It made a big difference to get the Jumbotron because now they can pipe in some noise. It
Yeah.
really did.
Yeah.
But it's still not it's not an intimidating environment from the fact of you're scared to go play. It's nostalgic, and for guys that have not experienced
Like
it.
Newt Rockney's going to walk out of that tunnel.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah,
It's different.
Well, you've been to the Big House. When a Big House night games, the cement is actually shaking.
Yeah, but
like,
so
I've been
from
there for a night
people.
game.
Oh yeah, right. And so you talk about that environment that can play, or go to Happy Valley and play at a night.
Yeah.
Those are big time. And it is Notre Dame at night. It's kind of a boring game. So hopefully
It's still cool. But
it is.
Any night game's a good
But I'm hoping that, obviously Notre Dame's got a lot of things clicking. The whole positive vibes are going on. Everybody loves Sam Hartman. Everybody's digging this, revived Notre Dame football team. There's got to be some things that's going to come out of that's actually going to benefit the actual football program and actually come away with a win. I actually think they're going to win this game.
So Irish fans, make sure that you stand up the whole game.
Yeah, like stand up and
wear
cheer.
green, okay?
Yeah.
Always
green,
wear
stand
green,
up.
please.
Wear your little wristband things. I'm
Maybe
gonna be
they
wearing
should
mine.
put some jump around on or something,
Hey, that's only reserved for Madison, baby.
That's why I took that jab.
Hey, one quick point on Hartman though too,
Yeah.
because I said he has to play a clean game.
Yep, which he does.
And you brought up too, right, that they haven't really seen a ton of adversity yet this year.
Yep.
Hartman's been very calm, cool, and collective. I'm just saying that there's probably going to be some adversity this game.
100%.
And I'm very knowing and just kind of, you look at his eyes and obviously maturity and experience helps quite a bit, is how's he going to react when there's some type of adversity? Might not be him, might be something the offense does, but, he's got to be that that even keel guy that's going to bring that offense back if something negative happens.
Well, that's a good point. And another point to that point is that Notre Dame hasn't played from behind this season yet.
No.
That's what I was going to say is what is his success
totally
level?
different. It's totally
Getting
different.
up 2 touchdowns and then
So what happens
recipe?
when you get down? We saw what happens to Colorado.
Oh yeah.
They stood in
Those
there.
Buffs, man.
Hey, that game was
Shador. Man, did you see he ran out of
watched
gas?
the whole game.
Did you see he ran out of gas in his Maybach like 2 days before that?
But there's some resilience. Hey, there's some resiliency there to have that, because Colorado State was going to win that game.
Yes, they were.
For sure. I mean, they were. If you watch that game,
Norvell
which I
talked a
stayed
lot
up
of
till
crap
2
and he
a.m.
backed it up.
But you got to have some mental toughness. Will Notre Dame be able to do that? That's going to be an interesting one to see.
And that's where in years past, I think you see a lot of Notre Dame fans who are like, oh, this is happening again. Like we play good against the teams that we're supposed to beat, and then we play the teams that, we want to beat, but we don't because.
Well, that was one of the big knocks on Brian Kelly was the teams couldn't win the big game.
Right.
And so, there's a huge opportunity here in year 2 for Marcus Freeman and his team to, again, this game, it's going to be a 4-quarter game. So it's going to be how do you start? Because if they start like they did against Central Michigan, you can't get down 2 touchdowns to Ohio State. 3 touchdowns to
you
Ohio
can't.
State.
Well,
agree.
you can get down 2. You can't get down 3 scores.
Fair. But then it's going to come down to how quickly do they make adjustments,
Right.
even as early as the first quarter. Then you get into halftime and you say, here's what our identity is going to be for the third quarter and the fourth quarter, and can we make adjustments and go out there and execute those to finish the game?
Their identity to me, and this is what happened on Saturday, in my eyes, they went away from the running game. In the middle 2 quarters, you saw Notre Dame kind of get away from Audric Estime, and they started becoming this pass-heavy team. Let's go down the field. And that, I think, is not
That's why it's going to come down
want.
to, can Notre Dame control the line of scrimmage? It's always in the trenches, right? It always is.
Versus CMU, hey, they
It always
control the
is.
line of scrimmage, but versus Ohio State,
That's the thing.
that's going to be a different. That's
It's going to be a battle. And usually, boys, you can watch the first few drives
And
know how that game is going to go, at least until halftime, and then if there's some adjustments that are made. But you're going to have a pretty good idea on who is controlling the line of scrimmage. Is Ohio State able to, push Notre Dame's line back? You're going to know real quick. So keep an eye on that offensive line for Notre Dame and for Ohio State on who is controlling the tempo.
We'll make our predictions here at the end of the show. You want to stick around for that, and we'll talk Michigan on the other side of the break because, we got to talk about these blue guys. I don't
Not
know.
getting any love.
Just steady winning, though.
Steady as she goes.
Come on, power rankings, computers.
Steady as she goes. Number 2 in the AP poll. Notre Dame number 10. We're going to come back, talk brewskis here at Westwind Brewery on the other side. You're listening to the Varsity Brews Podcast. And one other thing before we go. I think if Notre Dame does win this game, it's going to be complete mayhem in South Bend.
What are your thoughts on running on the field?
On running on the field?
Yeah.
I'll be on the field. So I'll be running. You'll be running on the field.
I don't have to go very far.
We'll be right back on the Varsity Brews Podcast. Malik, let's start with Notre Dame here. Ohio State this weekend. They like to break Notre Dame hearts through the years. Even I'm from Wisconsin. They like to break Wisconsin hearts too. But man, what do you
tell me about it?
Yeah, what getting ready for a big game like this, does anything change with preparation? Can you feel the locker room just get amped up? Like, what is it like in the locker room as you get ready for these big games?
Well, big games like this, you're honestly preparing before the week of the game. This is stuff you're working on in the summer, things that you're trying to focus on to building up to this week. So that what eases the whole, it's a change in routine or a change in mindset outside of what we were already trying to accomplish on the year. So it definitely is more, obviously more amped up. This is a big matchup, 2 top 10 teams, and we own one. So I think this is the perfect storm is happening, and we're in the right place to be.
Well, Malik, I'm curious to kind of get your take. You've watched quite a bit of college football this year. You've seen Ohio State play. You've seen Notre Dame play. Both teams took care of business. For Notre Dame to win this game, what's the game plan got to be like, and how do you see it shaking out Based on what they have on this roster offensively, defensively, what's going to be the game plan that's going to lead to a victory on Saturday night?
Well, and me and you are both quarterbacks, so of course it would want to be through us. And selfishly, if I'm Sam Hartman, I want this game to be through me, and it needs to be. We need to be able to take advantage of the fact we have the better quarterback in this matchup. Last year, they had the better quarterback, and the better quarterback won the game. And it was one of the tougher games that he had that season, but also to the fact that it's going to be pretty evenly matched in terms of the physicality in the trenches, the run game. I think our run game is better. However, their run game, has some effect to it as well, to where I don't think either team is going to run to win the football game. It needs to come down to the quarterback having the ball in the right moments, similar to last year. And, for Notre Dame, especially being at home, this is an opportunity to change the narrative, have this team be the turn-on point to when we start this championship run, especially showing that we're going to be winning these games and being the aggressor that that we haven't been in the past how many years, So I don't think this is the game where we're trying to run the ball to where they can't get on offense like we were last year. I think this is the game where we're going to try to hit our mark. We're trying to get to 40 points and see if they can get to that, because personally, I don't think they can score 40 points with who they have at the quarterback position. I think they're capable of a 28er, maybe 34, something like that, but nothing to the effect where, we're firing on all cylinders, and they weren't at a point.
So obviously we talked a lot about the offense and Sam Hartman and the offense. They've been able to score points consistently. Play action passing, and obviously a lot of it has to do with being able to run the football as well. And I think, just like this could be one of those first to 40 points wins the football game. But I want to kind of flip the conversation to the defensive side of the football. So far, what we've seen from this Notre Dame defense has been, trying to pressure the quarterback, bringing some blitzes. And as you know, at the quarterback position, if you're able to pick that up, you're going to have some one-on-one matchups in space. And certainly Ohio State has a game-breaking wide receiver. If you're Notre Dame, do you stick to that script? Is it maybe bringing some blitz zone? Do you think they sit back and try to make a young quarterback beat them? What are your thoughts on what we should see from this Notre Dame defense when they play Ohio State?
Well, Al Golden has been Al Golden, so I think he's not going to necessarily change the identity of what he's used to. I think we're going to continue to bring pressure. He's an NFL guy, so he's more locked into his system and the way he does things. And I think it should be a balance of being aggressive. I don't think Ohio State is going to try to put the ball in Kyle McCord's hands to try to win. So, blitzing Kyle McCord to try to get him on the ground, I think is almost counterproductive to what I think they're really trying to do in terms of a bunch of outside throws, trying to get guys in space, try to force, Marvin Harrison Jr. the ball, this, that, and the third. I really believe that for us, we should just be who we are. I think we have a better defense secondarily than we did last year. But also, I think from an overall scheme perspective, I think Ohio State has a chance to score, but I don't think that they have enough to score when it matters in the fourth quarter. So it's more of we just got to play our base stuff, trust our secondary, and be able to make tackles. I think that's a lot of it is less coaching and more making tackles in space, honestly, because Ohio State doesn't have anything scheme-wise where I'm like, oh, they're just going to draw it up and just have us confused. I don't think that at all. I really believe it's just we have to make the tackles in space, very similar to what we didn't do against Oklahoma State in the Fiesta Bowl. If we can do our job on the field from that aspect and not blow tackles or, give up crazy yards after contact, yards after catch, then we'll be fine. Because if we're forcing Ohio State to get 10-play drive touchdowns, 11 play drive touchdowns is high success with a young quarterback. They can't get that far. And then, obviously special teams playing a position of flipping the field and getting them to start far. I think it'll be really beneficial for us if we have to force their hand to make them beat us scoring the football. So if that means being aggressive to make them try to throw over the top, I get it. But, for us, I really am confident that our offense can at least play complementary football for us to win the game.
Well, Malik, this was like one of the big three this year, right? You got Clemson, USC, and Ohio State. Taking those games into consideration still, and that they have to play those games, to probably make the playoff or a playoff, what would a win like this mean to the program to beat an Ohio State team and kind of get that off your back?
Well, if any team that we really want to beat, Ohio State's been one of the pillar teams going into playoffs and the whole college football championship era. And I think for us to be able to beat them just shows that we're trying to start our own pillar of being a college football staple in the playoffs and contention to win the championship. And, I think it is about a replacement thing. You knock them off when you try to get to the top. So this is, if any year of college football, this is probably the most even, outside of maybe Georgia, but that's still yet to be tested in the SEC and in their schedule. But, this is the year for Marcus Freeman to be able to change a narrative in just 2 years. It's his second year doing it. Great in recruiting, got the quarterback you need, got the defense, at least more experience, and you're playing the younger guys early. That's a recipe for a dynasty team that's trying to actually win college football games. And then, you got guys out here that can't do the same narrative that they've done to us for so long, because look at their teams, Paul Feinbaum. Tennessee and Alabama are trash right now. And for us to be able to be a staple where we're putting up the numbers and putting it on the scoreboard, now Notre Dame fans can rally behind what we've always believed in our team, that we were just a couple pieces away, a little inexperienced. But now we're putting it on the scoreboard where teams can't make the jokes of, oh, you beat Cal by a touchdown. Oh, you barely beat Purdue. Oh, Marshall whooped you guys. No. We're winning in style. Finally, we're winning in dominance. We're not letting the teams that we're supposed to beat hang around. So all these things include, I think Marcus Freeman is on a good trajectory, and winning this game only puts us closer to the game I'm really thinking is probably the even, and that's the USC towards the end of the year.
Malik, you touched on it a little. You touched on it a little bit right there, but just in terms of kind of the parity in college sports right now, I think obviously transfer rules, NIL, even COVID played into that a little bit. Pull out your crystal ball. Do you think that's unique to this year? I mean, even look at what Deion Sanders is doing at Colorado this year. You pull out your crystal ball. Do you think that the parity is here to stay, or do you think that in a year or two we're going to see some of those, and maybe it's not the normal characters, or we're seeing Clemson start to falter a little bit, but do you believe that this parity is here to stay, where we may see some different programs kind of rotate in and out over the course of the next couple of years? Are you kind of envisioning we go back to there's really maybe 4 to 6 teams that are consistently there vying for the college football playoffs?
Yeah, I think with the playoff expansion being almost like a new season, if we're doing 12 teams, anything can happen in that case, because you're gonna get chunks taken from you. It's a lot of emotion. You playing late in the season, how that got all add up. And on the psychological factor, it's like playing in a bubble. I'm sure it's just a lot tougher for a team like Georgia to be as great as they are, to go 4 extra games through 4 other teams. It's just a lot of factors that's going to make it at least more exciting for the fan, at least more exciting for Vegas, because now you're like, I don't know, Alabama barely hung on and they barely hung on again. And now, so anything can happen. But for Notre Dame, I think what's important and what they've done so well is build depth. We're a 2-3 deep team. A lot of teams can't say that. So for instance, going into this Ohio State game, I have to keep talking about this because this is interesting to me. What we're doing on offense, I think is so great because winning this game and what Sam Hartman can do and showing what the transfer portal and how the NIL and all of the way Notre Dame does it, don't let us win. If you let us win it all, doing it the way we've done it with the NIL being a little different at Notre Dame than other places, and we do it the way we want to do it, I think we will be the leader in making, and changing how the NIL game is, because it's going to change. They're going to try to find a way. But if you let us do it the way we want to do it and win a championship, it's going to be a lot of us making the rules around here about how it's going to go. So it's a lot, I think, rides on this game. But, man, I'm just excited for this weekend and see what happens.
2 more questions for you. One, do you have an X factor, and what's the final score?
What do I think the X factor? Yeah, I mean, Sam's got to be the X factor just because it needs to be. It just got to win this game. That's why we signed you. We really signed you for 3 games, and this is when you're called on. This is when you're called on. So Sam's got to be the X factor. The final score, I got us winning 42 to 35. Yeah. I got us winning 42 to 35.
Awesome. We one more question before we let you go. I got to ask you about Alabama. You've seen them play, and you kind of mentioned them just a few minutes ago. What do you think of the Tyler Buckner, Tommy Rees pairing that happened and may not happen again, just based on how he played?
Tyler saw what happened to him here at Notre Dame. So to follow the abuse is crazy. I mean, he didn't give you a fair shot there. I don't know why you would think he'll give you a fair shot at Alabama. So I think that it's not necessarily Tyler's fault, because I just don't think he fits the style of what Tommy does. I think, Saban probably didn't do enough homework, because clearly he didn't see what we was going through with the same situation. But, I think it's just the transition of how hard it is in college football with the retention factor and everything included on keeping the program year to year really solid. It can have some tough times, and I'm sure they'll figure it out because they got to. And Saban is Saban, so I'm sure he's going to have his way of getting things done. But Tommy's an interesting person to have in a program, man. And I think that it's bigger than just calling plays, and it's just a whole culture shift. And I think, at Notre Dame, he had all control of the whole thing. So it's just an interesting factor. I mean, that was the first time I ever heard of us having a assistant offensive head coach or something. Like, it was some crazy title. Like, how do you have an offensive head coach? Like, how does that happen? But I do think that I hope they don't think that they can play with us. I hope they don't think they're going to forget us. So we're going to bigger and better things. I think it shows that when Marcus Freeman and how he had his mind made up on what he wanted the team to look like moving forward, and he shed the right snake skin, and look at what happened. We become a lot stronger, and everybody else that took our problems comes a lot weaker.
I love it. Awesome, man. Well, thanks so much for jumping on with us, and go Irish.
Go Irish. Let's get it done.
Coach, just give me a chance. Remember from Ace Ventura? Boom, 42. He's in the bushes.
That's so funny.
That's
Such
funny.
a great scene.
Yeah, that is great.
And then he just slams his head on the
he
bench.
slams his head on the bench.
Best Jim Carrey movie of all time. Go.
Well, I mean, I like The Mask,
Oh,
but it's
Mask.
kind of
Okay.
because Cameron Diaz is in it. So You know that
Ace
he released
Ventura is the
Ace Ventura is really funny.
the OG
The
Ace
original
Ventura.
Ace Ventura, not the extras.
In 1 year, he did Ace Ventura, or all released, The Mask and Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, Dumb and Dumber, though, buddy.
Hey, that was pretty funny.
Dumb and Dumber is better than Ace
How
Ventura.
can you not have a thing? Whoa, alrighty then. I mean, that's like the greatest line of all time. You know, I mean, I don't know.
Can we all agree that Truman Show was just not good?
Truman Show is horrible.
I'll watch that every once. It was on TBS quite a bit.
Welcome back to the Varsity Brews Podcast, where we not only rate college football games, but Jim Carrey movies as well.
And I believe you are Vahid Sadrazadeh.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I've been practicing that for 2 weeks. You forgot to introduce yourself at the beginning, so I figured this segment I will.
Hi.
Got it.
I'm Vahid Zaire. Wait, you do the introductions.
Alrighty.
Welcome to the Varsity Brews Podcast. I'm AJW with your hosts, Vahid Sadrazadeh and Evan Sharpley.
And he could be a voice actor.
Yeah, he could.
Boom.
In a world.
Where Notre Dame football rules.
What world is that? All right. Well,
1932.
1930. You got the 1920. Oh, you got all the banners.
Yeah,
okay, all the banners. 88. Anyway, Lou's going to be in town this weekend.
Oh,
by
all
the
right.
way.
Nice.
Yeah, they're going to recognize the 88 squad.
Oh, that's awesome.
Ah,
So,
cool.
Hopefully, we can bring another banner here to South
Lou
Bend.
coached my my team in the spring game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was my head coach.
Nice.
Yeah, he let me have it walking off the field.
Did he really?
Yeah, halftime. I missed somebody wide open.
What did he say to you?
I don't really. I just remember him yelling at me. But
He probably doesn't understand what it is.
I will say though, it was a really cool experience because he gave it's just a spring game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was Era was coaching the other team,
Oh,
and Lou was coaching my team.
wow.
And Lou comes in with a manila folder with his speech.
Yeah.
It was a great speech. We'll just say that. Like, I was more pumped up listening to him talk for the spring game than any game I played there the other 5 years.
I love it.
Win. What's important now? Was that what
He's got all the things.
Yeah, he's got
He got all
4
the
for
things.
40.
All the things.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the beer here. We haven't done this in a while at the
We
Varsity
haven't. We
Brews
missed it a couple
Podcast.
times. That's all right. We're enjoying beers.
There's all but I don't know 2 on the board right now, and I had the Stage Fire. What is it?
Yeah, Station 4.
Station 4.
Yeah, we made that one. Did you get a sample of that?
I did. Does it
Okay.
have a little bit of honey in it?
Yeah,
or-
it's just a easy drinking 4.5. We made that for our local fire station over here. It's called Station 4. And we made that for the brave firefighters that are always fighting, and they wanted something light and easy drinking. So we don't make a lot of session ales. I mean, we enjoy more of the 7.5 to 9.5% range. But yeah, Station 4 is just a nice easy drinking session IPA 4.5. So if you're looking for something that's just easy drinking at Westwind, we offer that up.
Sounds like it's up your alley.
It is. I liked it. It was honey. It was light. It was.
We just got to get you upgraded out of the 5% or 5 ounce pours here, Vahid.
Well, the more a lot of 5 ounces.
A lot of 5 ounces.
Equals
Yeah, if you have 5 of those,
12
that's 25 ounces.
That's right.
All right, so we got this this
what is
beer.
this right here?
Yeah, Evan's got 2. He's double fisting. We got this is Last Day Under the Sun. So we are actually originally one of the only one of 2 breweries in all of Indiana that had this. So if you missed it last time, it came out, but this has the Eclipse hop in it. It was normally originally called the HPA 016-007. No, just joking on the 007, but they named this Eclipse, and it's a crossbred hop. So it's got Galaxy was crossbred with Ella and Galaxy, and it's plants, male and female plants that get bred, and this is how this hop came out. And it's floral, it's delicate, it's a double dry hop. It is slightly a little bit bitter than traditional some of our New Englands, but super popular. A lot of people that drink this drink the heck out of it. It's 7.2. It's Last Day Under the Sun. People ask me where that name came from. Well, I figure, we're coming to the end of summer. Why not bring that back? Because, the last day of the sun is coming. So, but let's take a sip, see what you think.
Cheers.
Nice dry dankness of the Northeast style. I could drink this all day.
So how would you describe this little guy here?
So this is a hazy. In my eyes. It's got a nice earthiness. It's got a little bit of citrus notes, but they're more of an earthy citrus note. Does that make sense? So like, yeah, he's got double Primus, so he can.
He's going from double Primus to.
So double Primus can be like really citrusy,
a little more juicy.
Yeah, so it's more juicy. Yeah,
you can definitely tell dry,
drier and earthy. So traditional New England's up in Northeast, they are more dry. They're more traditionally like Last Day than they are double Primus.
Oh,
and it has to do with the hops. So Mosaic, which is a very popular hop up that way, which is in several of our beers. The Eclipse hop has that kind of more earthy tone to it. It's got juice, but it's just not like a juice bomb like double Primus or regular Primus is. So.
Yeah, no, it's good. What did you say when you first described it? You said dank.
Yeah, it's dank. Oh, you don't know what the word dank means? Well,
no.
You did go to college, right?
Well,
you know, like when you walked around for tailgating and there was a smell in the air?
Yeah.
Yeah, dank.
It's a weed beer.
It's a weed beer. It smells like weed.
301, okay?
Yeah, so dank is like when hops are super fresh and they're green, that is it's kind of comes from the wheat. The word, yeah, dank. It's a descriptive word that goes in there. So there's going to be a little bit more earthy, dank, but it does have citrus notes in it because of the hops that were used when they crossbred them.
How do you go into the decision-making process? I'm getting real deep here. How do you go into the decision-making process to decide, okay, I have like 5 IPAs on the board, and I want to do another one. Like, how does
he has a wheel in the back, and he just spins it.
Yeah, it is. It's like it's like Wheel of Fortune. Like, Jamie, come turn the block, and we're gonna see where we're gonna go. No, we think a lot about from when we first started, we really only wanted to serve IPAs. And then we were like, okay, well, we've got people that want a light beer, and you got people that want a dark beer, and then you want people that want the New Englands because that's what we're known for. And obviously, you've got to have a pale ale, which is Sacrifice,
or
which is
right?
our staple. Yeah, and if you look at Iced Ale, how it came about, I mean, those are alternative beers for different genre of people walking in. So if you're going to be in business a long time, you've got to brew beer for the people. And I think that's where we kind of decide, hey, we're going to head this direction. We try to always keep 2 or 3 New Englands on at all time. If you notice our boards, we'll keep a light drinker on there. We'll keep Better Days to make sure Vahid actually comes back and sees us because that's his favorite beer, apparently.
It is. No doubt.
You got to have a pale ale because that's most breweries that have that. And typically 1 or 2 dark beers. We don't ever, if you'll notice, have more than 2 dark beers on tap at once. It's on purpose. I mean, we're kind of brewing towards a lot of different things, and then we always try to throw like a specialty beer in there. We just had our Walk into Paradise, which was our first sour we did. Captain's Parlay really is a specialty beer, and the fact that it is. It's a Belgian. It's a little bit stronger. So if you had a rough Monday, Vahid, and you need to, lighten up your day for Monday Night Football. What
was the Walking in what?
Walking to Paradise is gone now, but yeah,
see ya.
It came and went, man.
Bummer, man.
Yeah. But that was our first fruited sour. So we're definitely blending, like, I'll call it 1 or 2 specialty beers in between all these other things. For next podcast, we should have Persephone, which is our fall amber ale. That is a nice.
I remember that one.
Yeah. So we bring that out around fall time, and that I just got done kegging that this week, and so we're excited to have that coming along with Genesis too. So dark season's coming, and 9%.
Winter
good way to start a
coming.
podcast.
Winter is coming, gentlemen. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good. What else do you got going on here? I know you got...
so tomorrow... Actually, I got a busy week. The next, 14 days I'm working. I'm back on the no days off, 800-hour work weeks, and I wonder why my foot's swollen. But tomorrow we're going to brew... we got to go back and get some Kingsman Kolschan tap. We've been hosting a lot of parents in the area, so everybody's drinking the crud out of that. And then the next day, we're going to go brew a new iced lay, and I'll give you a little hint. It is going to be a dreamsicle flavor of oranges and cream.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm working on that. I plan on brewing that Wednesday morning, so it's going to be a busy week of me bartending, brewing up some beers, cleaning toilets, cooking, whatever it takes.
And now drinking 128 ounces of water
and my doctor told me I need to drink 128 ounces.
Aaron's like, I don't drink any water.
About that. So are we going to have a little challenge here for percentage of weight loss?
Oh, man, I don't know. We do have the Halloween party is coming up here October 28th. There's my little plug. For
October 28th. No, we got to do end of the year, don't you think?
I don't know. That's up to you guys.
Well, he's got to be...
you want to put it in for a long...
Well, apparently I walked in and he's like, we're going to do a push-up challenge today.
That would have been cool.
I can't do a push-up challenge today.
Why not?
Have you seen how hot I'm just standing
but we
here.
have to have a baseline, and then we do it again.
I'd be game with doing that.
Would you?
We got to figure out when it is, though.
Oh,
New Year's resolution, or I mean,
The push-up contest?
No.
I think the weight loss is
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we do have to probably set a date.
Should we probably weigh in?
Well, I know I'm 240. Yeah, let's bring the scale.
Right now?
We'll do weigh-ins. Well, not today.
We'll do
but
weigh-ins.
We'll do weigh-ins.
And then
Like
next time
a
we'll do
UFC fight type weigh-in like that.
We'll do weigh-ins next time, and then on January, whatever, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, whatever our next podcast is.
Man, that's going to be so
that
hard
is a
across
tough-
the
that's a tough
holidays.
area.
Yeah, I know.
Should we do this before Thanksgiving?
Maybe that's a better
It's like my
plan.
favorite holiday.
Maybe that's a better plan.
Yeah, I'm thinking it is.
All right. Well, okay, next time is the weigh-in.
Okay.
Deal?
Okay. Deal.
And then percentage of weight loss.
Who's bringing the scale?
Evan, do you
I
have a
got
good
one.
scale?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, bring the scale.
All right. Reads lower
Okay.
than usual.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to make our picks coming up next, and we're going to talk about Michigan football, too. This is the Varsity Brews Podcast. It's time for the 2-minute drill here on the Varsity Brews Podcast. Let's make our picks this week. I've given up on the NFL this year, so already
Bills won. Thank you.
1-1. Packers are 1-1. Lions 1-1.
Lions 1-1.
Hey, Vikings are 0-2, so I don't care.
I don't know if I like that rule where, first touchdown scores.
I hate it.
I know. Play the college rule.
hate
Everybody, both teams
Yeah.
get a chance.
Change the
but-
rule.
Yeah.
Michigan this week, who do they got?
Michigan's got Rutgers. They are, I think, like
100-point
point
No,
favorites.
they'll win
No.
30-3.
They're just waiting for Harbaugh to get back.
Just consistent.
We don't.
So, is Harbaugh coming back this time?
No, he's
No,
4
got one
games
more.
to space. This will be his last game. They want everybody to think that we just suck and we should only be 14 in the power rankings, and
I didn't say that, but
But they're home. They're home.
Hey, that's good news. So you got Michigan.
Noon, Michigan. Yeah, win big, 40 points.
All right.
I don't know who Colorado is playing, but they're going to win too.
Hey, I'm telling you.
Colorado is at Oregon this week.
All right.
Did you see those shades that he got?
All right. Yeah, he got Shannon Sharp and
Yeah.
Stephen A. They all had him.
That's awesome.
He is changing the coaching game.
It's really good for college football.
It's exciting.
It's awesome.
Yep.
All right, it's time for our Notre
time
Dame
for
picks.
Notre Dame.
All right. Who do you got?
All right, I'm staying true to what I said at the beginning of the
You did.
season. I did say that they will beat Ohio State. I
Okay.
think I think it's going to be a very, very close game. I say they're going to win by 3 points. Is what I'm thinking. So
All right.
it's going to be a tight game. I think that it's going to come down to fourth quarter, shenanigans of working through some tough things. I think it's going to be the first time you're going to see Notre Dame play extremely tough comebacks, maybe
Yep.
show some grit that they needed. But I'm thinking Notre Dame by 3. I'm going to call a score of 27-24.
Kind of low scoring there.
Yeah.
Surprising. Low scoring.
Yeah.
Okay, by
Yeah.
3. All right, who you got?
Well, I have to stay true to my pick then to start the season, which was that Notre Dame was going to lose to Ohio State.
Yeah, all right, there you go.
I haven't backed off on that at this point. So I'm going to take Ohio State by 10.
Okay.
I still think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be physical. I'm excited for it just as a football fan to watch. I think there are going to be some points scored. So I'm going to go 40-30
40-30.
40-30. All right.
if I'm saying 10 points.
And that would cover the spread because the line is 3.5.
3.5? Did
Right now.
it start at 3.5?
It started at
It started at 8.5,
before
like
the
before the
season
season.
started.
Yeah, okay, all right.
And now it's kind of crept back to
Yeah.
3.5. I picked Notre Dame to start the season to win this game, and I will pick them today to win this game hesitantly, but I'm going to say it's going to go into overtime.
Oh, you like to
And I like a 44-41 final in OT.
Sweet.
Spencer Schrader has got a leg on him. And if it's from 50 or 60 yards out, if it's a dry game, now the weather is supposed to be a factor possibly on Saturday night. So if it is a dry game, no rain, 44-41 OT, Notre Dame gets the
That place would go nuts if that's how it goes down.
Hey, they beat Clemson in
Nuts.
OT a couple of years ago.
Vahid will be on the field running up there.
Like I said, I'll already be on the field.
Get your drone ready.
Get your drone ready.
I would be kicked off the
It's
field.
frowned upon because I actually was part of a photo shoot that we didn't get permission from the university and flew a drone on campus, and then we had to take it down.
Evan Sharpley, everybody.
Well, ask for forgiveness later.
All right, buddies.
I'm out.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
All right. Take it easy. We'll see you on the other side. The Varsity Brews Podcast is brought to you by Westwind Brewery. Thanks so much, my friend.
Cheers.
For sharing
Cheers.
your beers.